Marcos National High School proudly brings the virtual graduation ceremony of Class 2021. Today, we honor the senior high school students who survived the school year despite of the challenging times brought by the pandemic and who are about to reach their dreams. This culminates their hard work, patience, sacrifices, and resiliency they poured in their academic journey. And today, they stand as survivors ready to take a new chapter of their lives. Join us as we witness the senior high school students, together with their parents and families, on their graduation, receiving the recognition they truly deserve. This is the virtual graduation ceremony of Class 2021 of Marcos National High School, with the theme, Strengthening the Quality of Education Amid COVID-19 Pandemic. Let us welcome the Class of 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty and staff of Marcos National High School, headed by Mr. Pasiano Ising, the school principal, and Mr. James C. Verdadero, the head teacher 3. Let us give honor to our country through the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Upang
praise and thank God for all the achievements we had this school year, and let us entrust to Him all our future endeavors through a doxology.
Where can I run and hide from you? Or could I ever do when everywhere I know you're there? Anywhere you'll find me. Where could I go to flee from you? Or could I ever do when your hands keep holding me, guiding me around me? God, I know that you are there. You know who I am and all I do. God, you see me through and through. Take my hand, I trust in you. I put my life in you. You know me when I sit or stand. My life is in your hand. You read my thoughts from far away. In everything you know me. You know me in my darkest hour. You give me strength and power. You are there beside me, watching me for always. God, I know that you are there. You know who I am and all I do. God, you see me through and through. Take my hand, I trust in you. I put my life in you. For all the wonders that you gave me, for all the marvels that you do, for all of these I like to thank you and praise you. God, I know that you are there. You know who I am and all I do. God, you see me through and through. Take my hand, I trust in you. I put my life in you. I put my life in you.
Let us now sing together with pride and honor the Region 1 hymn. after which is the singing of the Provincial March and the Marcus Hymn.
Juan que Antonio Luna, que agri may kenaplan, kanda tumapay naman sa kenyas koda, anak mo at kalalatakan, yagan mo kagawad, itiyahin at sa malubungan. Ilongod Norte, Tampok Pagyanan, ikatangkit kailukwan. Ilongod Norte, Tampok Pagyanan, ikatangkit kailukwan.
May we all listen to Jerome A. Manuel with high honors in his opening remarks.
To our ever-dynamic and hard-working Principal, Mr. Pasiano C., to our dear teachers, parents, members of the faculty, fellow graduates, relatives, and friends, a blessed day to all of you. Today marks the second virtual graduation rites of Marcos National High School Senior High School Department, and once more, a new, fresh batch of finishers will be sent off its portals on towards the different college institutions to start a new chapter of their lives. When our school opened the academic year 2020-2021, regardless of this pandemic, we did not expect the change we would encounter by the choice we had made. Many students struggles in learning. Some teachers struggles in teaching. Many of us lost hope if we can still do it. We're doubting ourselves because of the hardships that we felt. But because of the often unperceived hard work of our teachers, help and guidance of our parents, and most especially the nurturing atmosphere of our alma mater, finally, we've reached our initial goal, moving on to the next level of our lives. Today marks the culmination of several years of hard work, of days of studying hard and learning our lessons. Yet, let us not forget that even as we find ourselves in trying situations, we did enjoy many times and many moments in this school. It has been and will always be a part of our growing up years. It has been a privilege to be a part of Marcos National High School family, and even a greater blessing to be a part and surrounded by remarkable and precious people of the class 2020-2021. I know that we, the class 2021, We'll always cherish for the rest of our lives the memories that we have made and mostly the friendships we have formed in this institution. To my fellow graduates, may we greet the future with eagerness and never forget the people who motivated and inspired us in our journey this far. At this crowning moment of our time, we invite you to celebrate the great tradition of Marcos National High School for raising another cohort of strong, determined, and confident young people. Thank you to those who are watching at home virtually to witness and celebrate with us in this special occasion of our lives. Once again, it is with great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the second virtual graduation ceremony of Marcos National High School for the academic year 2020-2021. Congratulations, fellow graduating students, as well as to our proud parents. May God bless us all, and to everyone, let us celebrate this day with rejoicing and thanksgiving. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome our school principal, Mr. Pasiano Isid, as he presents and petition for confirmation the candidates for graduation of school year 2020-2021.
By virtue vested in me by the Department of Education and my capacity as the school principal of Marcos National High School, may I present to you the 173 candidates for graduation of the school year 2020-2021. Under the academic track, 21 from Accountancy, Business and Management strand, 69 from Humanities and Social Sciences strand, 20 from Science and Technology, Engineering, Mathematics strands. Under the Technical, Vocational and Livelihood track, 36 from the Home Economics strand, 27 from the Information and Communication Technology. These candidates for graduation has satisfactorily completed all the requirements prescribed by the Senior High School Program of the Bureau of Secondary Education, Department of Education. Madam, may I then petition that these candidates be confirmed graduates with all the rights and privileges, as well as duties and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
At this juncture, Dr. Joan A. Corpuz, the school's Division Superintendent of Ilocos Norte, will now confirm the graduates and extends her congratulations to the graduates through a message.
By the authority vested in me by the Secretary of Education as the Schools Division Superintendent of the Schools Division of Ilocos Norte, and acting on the certification that you have successfully completed all the requirements of the K-12 curriculum, and upon the strong recommendation and petition of your school head for the confirmation of your graduation and or completion, I, Joan A. Corpuz, the Schools Division Superintendent of the Schools Division of Ilocos Norte, now confirm you graduates and or completers for the school year 2020-2021 with all the rights, honors, privileges, as well as duties and obligations thereto appertaining. Starting today, you are now eligible for admission to the next level of education. Congratulations and good luck. Respected local government officials, DepEd, Division, schools officials, Barangay and Parent Teachers Association officials, school heads, teachers, parents, stakeholders, learners, graduates and completers, guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to one and all. My warmest congratulations to all the members of Batch 2021. This school year will always be considered as the most challenging period in the history of the Department of Education. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought challenges in all the sectors around the world, and the field of education is no exemption. In order to provide and sustain our clarion call of promoting quality, relevant, and liberating education, despite all the adversities that we currently face, we have devised multiple ways so that learning still continues. We have experienced grueling transitions and birth pains, but we never surrendered because we are one team with one common dream. At first, the learning modalities that we have employed in the new normal have brought despair and distraction. But we have overcome these because of your dedication and determination. I feel delighted to congratulate you on this pivotal facet of your lives. After several months of enduring the struggles brought about by the global crisis in the educative process, you are now ready to ignite the torch of excellence, which you have earned through your incomparable patience and perseverance. Your teachers have provided you with the most fitting kind of instruction, which you need as you continue your quest for the fulfillment of your dreams. I congratulate them for serving as game changers in the new education landscape. From ordinary facilitators inside your classrooms, they eagerly transform themselves as module writers, online teachers, teacher broadcasters, and radio announcers to cater to your needs and interests while you are learning at home. I believe that every parent wants to invest the future of his or her children to the best school he or she knows. As such, my gratitude is offered to them because they have entrusted your early education to the Schools Division of Ilocos Norte. Our battle against COVID-19 became easier because they are always there to serve as your shield, shelter, and strength. My sincerest appreciation is also given to the provincial government of Ilocos Norte and all the benevolent stakeholders for their incomparable support to the programs, projects, and activities of the Schools Division. The strong partnerships and linkages that they have built with us serve as our instruments in combating the challenges caused by the pandemic. At this important milestone of your lives, please be reminded that the greatest rewards that you have are the values that you have obtained from the tales of trials that have been through during the school year. Make these as sources of inspiration for you to do more and be more. I pray that the Lord will forever guide you as you step to the next rung of the educational ladder. Always take the positive path, and He will crown you with success that you truly deserve. To all of you, our dear graduates and our completers, good luck in your new journey. Happy graduation and God bless you.
May we now listen to the message of Honorable Leonor Magtolis Briones, the Secretary of the Department of Education.
Good day to each and everyone who is attending virtually present at this time of our graduation ceremonies for our beloved and very precious graduates for the school year which ends at this time. First of all, I'd like to greet the parents and family members without whose sacrifices, whose reminders, and whose participation in the learning process for our graduates have resulted in this culmination program. This year, your role has changed drastically, where we've always thought, we've always believed that the matter of educating our children rests nearly exclusively on our teachers and our staff. This time, you parents, you family members, you who are in the households of our learners have expanded your role and contributed to this wonderful day, wherein finally, our learners are graduating in this culmination exercise. So congratulations, because this year has not been very easy, has not been a picnic for our teachers, for our family members, as well, especially the parents, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and all who have contributed to the achievement of our learners at this time. So, maraming salamat at congratulations, parents and family members. Mas malaki ang role ninyo at this time compared to earlier graduation exercises. Secondly, I would also like to greet our teachers, without whose very careful review and careful supervision of the work of our pupils and our learners, this event would not be taking place at all. And so thank you, teachers. Your role has also expanded, in addition to seeing to it that the modules are faithfully followed, the assignments are correctly implemented, and the learners are truly learning. And you have had to deal with new ways of assessing the performance also of the learners. So congratulations, teachers, for enduring, for your patience, for your love for our learners, and your willingness to engage in a way and methods of teaching which are different from those which are used to. Assessment must have been especially difficult for you, especially since you were not able to see most of the time our students in face-to-face meetings, and most of the meetings, of course, were virtual. We'd also like to thank the local government units for their interest, for their cooperation, and for their continuing contributions to the needs of education, even as our children do not go to school. Your donations of material as well as financial resources at this time are most welcome, and your advice has been taken seriously not only by our teachers, by our school officials, but also by our officials in the Department of Education. We continually talk with local government units, especially in times of disaster, in times of great need for classrooms, for space, and for responses to unforeseen emergencies. Thank you, local government units. But of course, most of the congratulatory greetings fall on the deserving graduate. Each and every one of you is truly special. You are different from the other graduates who have passed through the portals of your school. You went to school practically without seeing your teachers, if at all. You went to school with your parents, your mothers, and your fathers hovering over your shoulders and seeing to it that you are able to complete your assignments. You are completing your studies at a time when examinations and assessments are different. You are culminating these long months of hard work at this time, even as you have to do family chores, even as you are distracted, and even as your world has turned upside down, and it seems and it appears as if we don't know what the future holds and what will happen next. But you have persevered, and now you are ready to graduate. And therefore, you deserve each and every bit of congratulations from us in the Department of Education, from your parents and family members, your teachers, from the officials in local government, as well as in the Parent Teachers Associations. You deserve each and every single congratulatory pat on your back, each hug, virtually of course, and each greeting which I am sure you are also receiving virtually. I don't know if you will remember this event many years from now. I have tried to recall myself who our graduation speaker was when I finished high school and when I finished my college studies. All I remember is that the graduation speaker was someone important, someone who was invited because that someone is supposed to give a message. What was more important to us graduates at that time was the excitement of the celebrations, the happiness and the joy of our parents, the sadness of parting from our classmates and from our teachers, and the enjoyment of all the graduation events that usually take place come commencement day. When I was a college student, we had a series of events which were designed to embed in our minds, which were designed to help us remember and not forget our days in college. We would spend one whole day going around the campus, visiting the classrooms, saying goodbye to our teachers, and sharing memories. We would have bonfires to say goodbye to each other. We had baccalaureate services where we committed ourselves to God and we prayed for guidance when we go out into the world. So many celebrations, and The speaker, of course, is the least important and easily forgotten component of the graduation exercise. Nonetheless, I will exert all efforts to share with you what I see are things or issues which a graduate should remember and recall. I have said that you are very special. You are very different. You are pioneering. There has been no other class like your class. There has been no other graduate like you as a graduating student, because you are the very first graduate of the blended learning response to education in the Philippines. And so you ask yourself, what awaits you in the world outside? You can either work, because the kind of curriculum you survived and underwent as a student will enable you to go to work if you wish to go to work. Some of you will proceed to further studies, and this would be a wonderful thing, because there are many opportunities for further expanding your knowledge, for further answering and looking for explanations of issues, events that make you curious, especially in science, in technology, and also in the arts. So you can work, you can go to further studies, and perhaps some of you will settle down, hopefully not too soon, so you can pursue what you really want to do. So today, this is why we call this exercise a commencement exercise. It's not the end of our studies. It's not the end of all our efforts with blended learning, with modules, with floods, with earthquakes, and of course with COVID. It's a commencement of doors opening to you. More doors will be opened because you are a graduate. You can work, you can proceed for further studies, you can help your parents, and you can perhaps look for opportunities to do what you have always wanted to do, whether at work, whether at advanced studies, whether at learning more in science and technology, in mathematics, and in the arts. All of these opportunities are available to you. More doors are being opened. I hope you will select the door which arouses your curiosity, the door which will help you know more about this world, and the door which will allow you to contribute to the development of our country and contribute whatever we can to solve our problems and our challenges. Congratulations once more to each and every one of you. Congratulations to you, parents and family members. Congratulations to you, teachers. When I was chair of the board of Silliman University, each time we had graduation ceremonies, during the baccalaureate and during commencement itself, I would cry. I would cry because you are sending out into the world a new batch of graduates, and we want to be sure that what is awaiting them is appropriate. We want to be sure that they are ready for what awaits them when they select which door to open. And so, we tell you, go out to the world, do whatever you want to do. God be with you, and be assured that all of us love each and every one of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud to present to you the graduates with honors of Class 2021.
Agoy Micaela Cassandra P. with high honors. Agustin Christian James T. with high honors. Agustin Luis Patrick U. with high honors. Argel Sharice May R. with high honors. Calastravo Nicole K. G. with high honors. Jao Renz Lumeriza N. with high honors. Gaddi Joshua T. with high honors. Manuel Jerome A. with high honors. Takulog Vriden Giro with high honors. Tamayo Norlin Joy G. with high honors. Tugade Christine Irish V. with high honors. Tungpalan Glaze Dimples T. with high honors. Tutop John Lord G. with high honors. Abelia Frances Laika B. with honors. Abelia Ann Margaret A. with honors. Agag Miriam R. with honors. Andres Natalie Rose G. with honors. Andres Princess Joy V. with honors. Andres Michael Jonathan S. with honors. Baltazar Justin Grace T. with honors. Bawit Joanna May C. with honors. Bawit Kirsten Abigail G. with honors. Batulayan Stephanie G. with honors. Batulayan Cheryl A. with honors. Bayaka Katrina Abigail D. with honors. Benavides Jeff Andre L. with honors. Bueno Jonaline M. with honors. Butin Rufa May T. with honors. Kalabitin Lester S. with honors. Kalabitin Valerie Joy P. with honors. Seredon Rica P. with honors. Coloma Jessica C. with honors. De La Cruz Jamaica May D. with honors. De La Cruz John Shirel A. with honors. Delerio Keisha Kyle A. with honors. Dichoso May Angelica V. with honors. Domingo Aloha Lay B. with honors. Erice Yazel Joy with honors. Felipe Alia Chinel S. with honors. Gabas Nellyville C. with honors. Gabriel Christoph Jerus L. with honors. Galiate Thony Rose J. with honors. Garcia Angeline R. with honors. Guillermo Alfea Camille S. with honors. Guillermo Hines II P. with honors. Juan Larissa T. with honors. Landero Syra Joy M. with honors. Ligot Sydney V. with honors. Lorenzo Dayan Pearl R. with honors. Macasio John Mark A. with honors. Magno May Althea V. with honors. Manaran David James D. with honors. Mangi Jeneline with honors. Mangoma Mark Vincent T. with honors. Montes Isel May with honors. Navarro Venus M. with honors. Ortega Cris Maria Catherine V. with honors. Rudenciano Jobert C. with honors. Pugal Gladys May R. with honors. Ragasa Jalil D. with honors. Robuelto April Joy J. with honors. Rosal Eldridge Xavier R. with honors. Rosqueta Charimel V. with honors. Rumbawa John Timothy with honors. Rumbawa Ashley C. with honors. Salvador Sunshine P. with honors. Semana Carl Angelo with honors. Soco Maria Veronica B. with honors. Sugpatan Nicole Angela R. with honors. Susa Cherry Amor T. with honors. Susa Maria Angelica with honors. Tabuyo Reina Jean D. with honors. Tamayo Denden T. with honors. Tamayo Joshua Ryan N. with honors. Tanhay Jonalyn T. with honors. Topinio John Lester P. with honors. Tovera Mary Ann S. with honors. Tungpalan Angel May N. with honors. Ukol Mark Anthony A. with honors. Umutoy Angeline A. with honors. Valencia Sebastian Kurt A. with honors. Verdadero Lovely Joy A. with honors. Villanueva Raz Ian Harvey C. with honors.
Let us now welcome John Lord G. Tuto with high honors of Class 2021 as he delivers his Academic Excellence Address.
To our beloved school principal, Mr. Pashan Isid, to our goal-driven head teacher, Mr. James Verdadero, to our untiring and hardworking teachers, proud parents, fellow graduates, friends, guests, our online viewers, ladies and gentlemen, a blessed day to all of you. Try and try until you succeed. I think this saying is common to everybody because I know this was the first motto that we learned as a kid. And if we will go back to our childhood days, we would then post this on our Facebook status or even write it on our slam books. But now that we are older and wiser, if we were to analyze it again, we would realize that this quote tells a lot of our stories as a student. As the global pandemic made a lot of negative impact on our lives, we, the students, are one of those people who suffered the most. Schools and universities shut down. Face-to-face class were prohibited. And because of strict and quarantine protocols, we were told to stay inside our home. It was the darkest days for all of us, especially to us students, because our dreams was put on hold. But as the saying goes, try and try until you succeed. We did not hesitate on continuing our dreams. Modular learning and online class were then introduced to us. It was not easy to adapt ourselves in this new kind of learning. It was a hard journey for all of us, but because of our determination and courage to try again, here we are now, celebrating our success. As I had my first step in Marcos National High School as a young and innocent grade 7 student, I never expected that I would be given this opportunity to talk in front of you all virtually. Just like all of you, I was also a wanderer. I was not sure of what lies ahead of me, of what will happen in the next day or so. But one thing I assure myself every single day is that in everything I do, I must give my best, and I should be responsible enough to handle every consequences that I will face, so that in the end, I will never regret. But as I said, as a student like you, we are also imperfect. There are things that we cannot control, especially the challenges that come along our way. As I had my high school journey, I also faced a lot of circumstances. I was told that I was undeserving for the achievements that I gained. I was betrayed many times. My capability to strive harder was questioned. But if there is one thing that life had taught me is that throughout your journey, there will be a lot of things that will hinder your path. But if you will have the courage to fight for your dreams, nothing and no one can stop you from achieving it. So use all the negativities around you as a fuel to drive you. Use it as an advantage to fight for the things that you love, for the things that you want to achieve. In our journey, a lot of us will experience to fall hard. And no doubt that failure is disheartening and frightening. But don't let this stop you from pushing through. Learn how to stand tall and continue the battle that you had started. And also, in our journey, a lot of people will question our dreams in life. They might say that we are too delusional or too ambitious. But always remember that their opinion will never matter. Surround yourself with people who will be at your back to support and cheer for you. Focus on what really matters. Remember, keep your eyes on your goals. My fellow graduates, another school year had passed. It is now the time of the year when we can gather all the fruits of our hard works, efforts, and sacrifices. It is now the time when we can be able to make our parents proud again because of the achievements and the lessons that we gained. I know that some of you think that we have the worst time to graduate because we did not experience a lot of things, such as having our actual work immersion, our chance to learn inside our classroom, and to know what does it really feel to have a normal graduation day. But for me, I believe more that everything has a purpose. Yes, there are a lot of things that we did not experience because of the pandemic, but this is just a proof that this batch has the most hardworking and goal-oriented students because we've conquered a lot of difficulties and problems. I know that this school year was not easy for all of us. It had tested a lot of our patience and our capability as a student. But what makes us keep moving forward is the bright future that awaits for us in the end. On this juncture, on behalf of the class of 2021, of this second virtual graduation day of Marcos National High School, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the people who have been part of our journey. To our high school teachers, especially to our class advisor, you are truly our modern heroes. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to improve ourselves. Given that we are in a pandemic situation, a lot of activities and tasks were cancelled. But each and every one of you did not fail on introducing to us different platforms where we can be able to showcase our talents, skills, and capabilities. Because of their relentless passion, we have learned a lot of things that we can use on our future endeavors. Your love, sacrifices, and efforts transcends even the barriers of the pandemic and the technology. As the wise saying goes, a good teacher explains, a superior teacher demonstrates, but a great teacher inspires, and you have truly inspired us all. Of course, our high school days will never be enjoyable and exciting without the presence of our classmates. Venus Humanistas, all of you will always have a special place in my heart. I will never forget all those jamming sessions that we had inside our classroom, all those laughter that we have shared, and all of those busy weeks that we've conquered. I will always be rooting for you all. Special mention to my best friends who have been my safe place and my backbone. Thank you for being with me in every step of this journey. and for being with me when I needed you all the most. I will never forget all the memories, good or bad, that we have shared all together. Also, to our parents who have been a witness of our ups and downs, thank you for the guidance and the unending support that you have given to us. We, your sons and daughters, are promising that we will do our very best to make you even more proud. And now, allow me to thank my greatest inspirations to all I do. To my tita, thank you so much for your unconditional love. I will always be thankful to have a tita like you. To my papa, thank you for putting all your trust and sacrifices in me. Thank you for instilling me values and for not leaving my side when I am in the middle of uncertainties and struggles. To my ate, thank you for inspiring me and for believing in me, especially in the times that I do not even believe in myself. You are truly my inspiration. I owe it all to you, Papa and Ate. To my mama, my super mom, this is all for you. I have seen you struggle and working tirelessly and abroad. I know that it was hard for you to work away from us, but because of your determination to make our lives better than what you have experienced as a kid, you have endured a lot of pain and struggles. Thank you for the things that you have entrusted with me. No matter how big or small my achievements were, you never miss one to be part of it and be proud of me. And if there is one thing that I can be ever proud of, that is to have a mother like you. Agyaman ako ni Mama, the others can ayat hintanuhan niya. You are my greatest inspiration to all I do. And I promise that someday, I will also be the one who will take care of you. Most importantly, let us give praise and glory to our Almighty Father for the gift of life, love, and wisdom. Thank you, Lord, for another fruitful and successful school year filled with joy, wisdom, and learning amidst our current predicament. Lastly, to my fellow graduates, fasten your seatbelts and hold on tight. This is not the end of our journey. This is the fresh start where we are more drawn in facing bigger challenges in life, and that is college. I know that some of you are still not sure of what to pursue, or some of you are still wandering in the middle of an ocean. And I just want to remind you all that it is okay to feel lost and be scared. What is not okay is to be a coward and not taking risks on pursuing your dreams. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up, and the most certain way to succeed is to try one more time. So do not be afraid of failure. Instead, be thankful for it, because this will shape us more to be more better and wiser. Know that in the end of the tunnel, there is something big that is waiting for you. So don't let anyone stop you from moving forward. Keep on fighting. Keep on chasing the dreams of yours that you have in your heart and never give up on achieving it. Marcos National High School, it was an honor and pride to be part of their legacy. All those learnings that I have learned and all those experiences that I spent will always be treasured and will never be forgotten. I will always look back to you with great honor and pride. And now, before I will end my speech today, allow me to leave a quote. Always have the courage to fight for your dreams. Be brave in facing bigger challenges in life. And watch how will you conquer every aspiration that is in your heart. That is all. Thank you, and to God be all the glory.
All our graduates have toiled more than enough to reach their dreams step by step, despite of the challenging times they passed through. This graduation is one of the many dreams they have to fulfill. May we now give the graduates the symbol of their hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, may we now witness the recognition of graduates and the distribution of diplomas.
As the advisor of Grade 12 Mercury, I am proud to present to you the graduates of Accountancy, Business, and Management of school year 2020-2021. Gahutan John Michael G. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnny P. Gahutan. Ukol Mark Anthony A. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Clarence A. Ukol. Abran Jessica B. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marlon B. Abran. Balantak May Angela S. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jose B. Balantak. Bayaka Katrina Abigail D. with honors. Parents, Pastor and Mrs. Rex M. Bayaka. Bueno Jonalyn M. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph A. Bueno. Calabitin Valerie Joy P. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marcial M. Calabitin. Yao Renz Leomerisa N. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Leonard B. Jiao Sr. Erice Yasel Joy with honors. Parent, Miss Jocelyn B. Erice. Felipe Alia Chanel S. with honors. Parent, Mr. and Mrs. Ronnie B. Felipe. Guillermo Altea Camille S. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alexander M. Guillermo. Undaya Messiah Ethel L. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edison F. Undaya. Mamwal Queenie P. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Tirso S. Mamwal. Montes Isel May with honors. Parents, Miss Dailin Montes. Pascual Mercy L. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Artemio S. Pascual. Pugal Gladys May R. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Carlito D. Pugal. Sukpatan Nicole Angela R. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Domingo C. Sukpatan. Susa Cherry Amor T. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robel B. Susa. Susa Ma Angelica with honors. Parents, Miss Maybelline B. Susa. Omogan Rica May B. Parent, Mrs. Annalyn B. Umugan. Omotoy Angeline A. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eliseo A. Omotoy.
As the advisor of the Grade 12 Venus, I am privileged to present the Humanities and Social Sciences strand graduates. Andres Patrick Dave L. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Godelfredo S. Andres. Calabitin Joshua A. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Francisco M. Calabitin. Kulubong Mac Angelo A. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio R. Kulubong. Jao Ian Dominic D. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Narciso B. Jao. Dumlao John Paul S. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Merlito A. Dumlao. Lubong Justin Dave M. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Janelle U. Lubong. Lubong Kim Jessery R. Parent, Mrs. Zenaida R. Lubong. Macalma Inigo Rafael R. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Esteban J. Macalma. Macasio John Mark A. with honors. Parent, Mr. Nestor C. Macasio. Manaran David James D. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Flor R. Manaran. Manuel Jerome A. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joanne M. Manuel. Ophilas Jo Marie G. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Reynaldo R. Valencia. Ramos Mark Lawrence B. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Elizard A. Ramos. Tamayo Jeremy B. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerome M. Tamayo. Tutok John Lord G. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Juan F. Tutok. Valencia Nick John Lee B. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Nestor M. Valencia. Valencia Sebastian Kurt A. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Manito B. Valencia. Abelia Ann Margaret A. with honors. Guardian, Mr. and Mrs. Geoffrey Erice. Andres Princess Joy V. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rizal T. Andres. Baltazar Justin Grace T. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Armando T. Baltazar. Batulayan Stephanie G. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jimmy G. Batulayan. De la Cruz Jamaica May D. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Sonny B. De la Cruz. Delerio Keisha Kyle A. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robert B. Delerio. Dichoso May Angelica V. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Florencio A. Dichoso.
Landero Syra Joy M. with honors. Parent, Miss Nympha A. Mandak.
Lorenzo Dayan Pearl R. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Erickson and Lorenzo. Magno May Altea V. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hernani S. Magno. Navarro Venus M. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Wilmer T. Navarro. Ortega Cris Maria Catherine V. with honors. Parent, PSMS Richelle V. Ortega. Ragasa Jalil D. with honors. Guardian, Mrs. Dardanella Damas. Ramos Sherlyn Joy M. Guardian, Miss Marilyn Andres. Ranes Mabel N. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey S. Ranes. Rosqueta Charimel V. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Charito B. Rosqueta. Salvador Sunshine P. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Michelle T. Salvador. Verdadero Lovely Joy A. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jimmy S. Verdadero. Viado Tricia May D. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodel P. Viado.
As the advisor of 12 Jupiter, I am proud to present to you the graduates of Humanities and Social Sciences. Abelia John Delvin M. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robert B. Abelia Jr. Andres Wesley A. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Fortunato G. Andres. Baletbet John Lloyd C. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Freddie C. Baletbet. Baptista Jonathan C. Parent, Mrs. Merlita Baptista. Barcarce Kierjan A. Parent, Mrs. Angelita Barcarce. Briones Derek John C. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ronnie S. Briones. Bulawan Lawrence E. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robert A. Bulawan. Danau LJP. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Renato S. Danau. Eugenio Mark Justin D. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roque A. Eugenio. Gaddi Joshua T. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. James N. Gadi. Impe John Lloyd S. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Romeo T. Impe. Jose Mark Angelo T. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edgar T. Jose. Liberato Lionel. Parent, Mrs. Teresa G. Liberato. Pago Albert A. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnny M. Baptista. 5 Edmar A. Parents, Mrs. Lucena A. 5. Kabuyo Adrian Q. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edwin B. Lasso. Topinyo John Lester P. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Nieves B. Topinyo. Agag Miriam R. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Romeo C. Agag. Andres Natalie Rose G. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodrigo M. Andres. Bawit Joanna May C. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mario M. Bawit. Bawit Kirsten Abigail C. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Randy C. Bawit. Claro Erica M. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry S. Claro. Dumlao Giselle B. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Orlando T. Dumlao. Dumlao Jenna Rose B. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Manolito M. Dumlao. Espiritu Camille C. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rizal Espiritu. Gabas Nellyville C. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Vicente M. Gabas. Ganot Vilma P. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Virgilio G. Ganot. Garcia Angeline R. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Danilo D. Garcia. Mateo Silvan Kate V. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Glenn M. Mateo. Panya Jocelyn G. Parents, Miss Bevihin Panya. Taboyo Reyna Jean C. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Reynante P. Tabuyo. Thailand Patricia Kyle B. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Patrick Choi Yu, Thailand. Valencia Julian M. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alan B. Valencia.
As the advisor of Grade 12 Earth, I am proud to present to you the graduates of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics of school year 2020-2021. Agustin Christian James T. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ferdinand B. Agustin. Agustin Luis Patrick Q. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Luis L. Agustin Jr. Andres Michael Jonathan S. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio M. Andres Jr. De la Cruz John Shirel A. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Danny G. De la Cruz. Guillermo Hines II P. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hines S. Guillermo. Ligot Sidney V. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Seferino T. Ligot. Mangoma Mark Vincent T. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roberto D. Mangoma. Prudenciano Jobert C. with honors. Parents, Mrs. Leonila C. Prudenciano. Semana Carl Angelo with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marlex T. Dumlao. Villanueva Razian Harvey C. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lolita Guillermo V. Tabula. Avelia Frances Laika B. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Perfecto D. Abelia. Argel Charisme R. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Michael R. Argel. Calastravo Nicole Kate G. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry L. Calastravo. Domingo Alohale B. with honors. Parents, Mrs. Gemaline Domingo. Gagliate Tony Rose J. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Antonio C. Gagliate. Juan Larissa T. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alex A. Juan. Mangi Jeneline with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Melanio A. Bawin. Rumbawa Ashley C. with honors. Parents, Mrs. Dominga A. Rumbawa. Tugade Christine Irish V. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robert G. Tugade. Tungpalan Glaze Dimples T. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert E. Tungpalan.
As the advisor of Grade 12 Uranus, I am very proud to present to you the graduates of Technical Vocational and Livelihood Track, Home Economics Strand. Agpawa Justin Piolo R., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Danilo V. Agpawa. Buena Alvin B., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Abelardo C. Buena. Domingo Jovi Jr. G., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jovi C. Domingo Sr. Esteban Christian R., guardian, Mr. Juanito A. Rarugal. Gabriel Christoph Jerus L. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ronel M. Gabriel. Passion John Lester D., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Ernesto I. Pasion. Rosal Eldridge Xavier R. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Floricel L. Rosal. Rosales Jericho A., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Ronnery P. Rosales. Rumbawa John Timothy with honors. Parent, Miss Jumaline Rumbawa. Pakulog Vaden Giro with high honors. Parent, Miss Thelma B. Giang. Tamayo Alchi M., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Alan V. Tamayo. Tamayo J. M., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Walter V. Tamayo. Tamayo John Carlo P., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Salvador V. Tamayo. Yasanya Randall Rain R., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Randy D. Yasanya. Balanay Jessamay T., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Marino G. Balanay Sr. Balantak Erica Joy R., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Irvi S. Balantak. Batulayan Cheryl A. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edwin C. Batulayan. Bolibol Charlene Keith T., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Charles S. Villanueva. Butin Rufame T. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Reynaldo B. Butin Sr. Kaadlawan Ana Marie, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Romel A. Katugas. Katugas Pamela C., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Romel A. Katugas. Ceredon Rica P. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Melvin B. Ceredon. Cum laude Aliyah May C., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Editha Cum laude. Gakula Ashley Nicole C., the daughter of Miss Karen Gakula. Jemao Alona Grace C., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Alter M. Tamayo. Linobo Lorime M., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Lorly T. Linobo. Menor Charmaine P., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Elmer D. Santos. Pantaleon Candy B., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Dominador A. Pantaleon. Passion Antoinette Gay A., the daughter of Miss Fares Passion. Ramiro Altea Crishame A., the daughter of Mr. Ferdinand N. Ramiro. Soko Ma Veronica B., with honors. Parent, Mr. Avelino B. Soko. Tamayo Altea Grace M., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Janice Tamayo. Tamayo Denden T., with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Larry A. Tamayo. Tamayo Megan Anjanette P., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jaime V. Tamayo. Tanhay Jonalyn T., with honors. Parent, Mrs. Eliza T. Tanhay. Villanueva Rio Jane N., the daughter of Mr. Edgar V. Villanueva.
I have the honor to present to you the graduates of Marcos National High School under the TVL track ICT strand. Benavides Jeffrey L., with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Domingo B. Benavides Jr. Calabitin Lester S., with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Loreto U. Calabitin. Ceredon Christian Jake P. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Apollo A. Ceredon. Ceredon Tyron G. Guardian, Mrs. Erlinda G. Ceredon. De la Cruz Mark Kimberly E. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edimar S. De la Cruz. Egal Jerwin B. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Willie R. Egal. Espiritu Alexis A. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rolando T. Espiritu. Gaja Jun Aris V. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Amor R. Pantaleon Jr. Juan Alvin J. S. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Albert S. Juan. Laja Chrismar C. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Christopher M. Laja. Lianes Jeffrey Jr. A. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey M. Lianes Sr. Manmano Renzo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Samuel S. Verdadero. Navarro Frederick P. Parent, Mrs. Vilma P. Navarro. Pasis Alj Noel A. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Albert B. Revilla. Raquinio Robert Jr. L. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robert S. Raquinio Sr. Rumbawa Mike Jordan R. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry C. Rumbawa. Saklayan Marsley P. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Melvin M. Saklayan. Tamayo Joshua Ryan N. with honors. Parent, Mrs. Eileen N. Tamayo. Tapar Clifford Nick E. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Arnel O. Tapar. Verdadero Moises Ray D. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Sandy G. Verdadero. Yasanya Carl Errol I. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Emil C. Yasanya. Agoy Micaela Cassandra P. with high honors. Parent, Mrs. Lorelai P. Agoy. Coloma Jessica C. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jomar C. Coloma. Robuelto April Joy J. with honors. Parent, Mrs. Nieva J. Robuelto. Tamayo Norlin Joy G. with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Noel V. Tamayo. Tovera Mary Ann S. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joel N. Tovera. Tungpalan Angel May N. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ernesto M. Tungpalan Jr.
Before our graduates finally bid farewell to Marcos National High School as they take their next step in fulfilling their dreams, may we now witness them as they take their pledge of loyalty to be led by Nicole Kate G. Calastravo with high honors.
May I request my fellow graduates to raise your right hand and join me as we take our oath of loyalty. We, the senior high school graduates of 2021, do hereby solemnly declare and promise that we will in thoughts, words, and deeds uphold the principles in which our alma mater stands, to live up the noble expectations of our beloved parents and teachers, to dedicate our talents in our ritual service to the entire mankind and nature, with love, trust, tolerance, and humility. So help us God.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we now sing together with pride the Marcos National High School Hymn.
Your sons and daughters will never forget you, Marcos National High School, our beloved alma mater. We are blessed with being a part of the ups and downs of our journey. We give you for the wisdom and care you've shared. When we need your understanding, you comfort us with thy guiding hands. Wherever we will go, alma mater will cherish your race and glory success. Brought us here, your sons and daughters will never forget you, Marcos National High School, our beloved alma mater. We are blessed with being a part of it, in the ups and downs of our journey. We give you our love and loyalty for the wisdom and care you've shared. When we need you understand, proud to be a part of this Marcos National High School. We're proud to be a part of this.
On behalf of Marcos National High School, we would like to congratulate the graduates and their families on the occasion of their graduation. We would like also to extend our sincerest gratitude to everyone who made this virtual graduation ceremony a successful endeavor.